So today's video is going to be on replacing, I'm going to bring in the light here, on the air box, on the CB500X, we have this big snorkel that comes out to the side. And I want to remove it so that I can put a pre-filter inside the air box, because when I ride off-road, this filter gets dusty pretty fast. Plus, this snorkel, it ends right here, so I don't really see any point of it other than maybe decreasing some intake noise and things like that, but it also makes this whole area really tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up and we're going to remove, now I've disconnected the battery already, but we're going to remove the battery, the air box, the filter, and then we're going to change this over to a part that I had manufactured by a friend of mine to put a pre-filter in here. So I'm just going to stop recording, get set up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to pull the battery out. So it's just disconnected and the strap is off. Battery out. Now, you do have to get the air box out. I can put this somewhere up here maybe. To get the air box out, you do have to take the computer out. Now, I've disconnected it from before, and all there is a couple of black and a gray, and there's a little pin you just press and it pops off. Now, anytime you want to change the air filter, you've got to do that. So, kind of I don't think it's a great idea. You got such a good chance of bending these little pins over, but anyway, that's the way it is. There's this junction here, terminal block. You just remove this. This is just a Phillips head screwdriver. And just a little bit of this is a bit of a pain. Pop that off, and this just comes loose. And you gotta tuck all this stuff kind of away, and you'll see what I mean. Let's put this over here on my shelf. Now there's 4 bolts, 4 Phillips. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for simplicity's sake, I've loosened 3. Just loosen the 4th one. And once you have this all loose, the air filter can come out, but you got all these little, whoops, yeah, this light fell over. You got all this stuff. Okay, so there's the air box, and there's the 4 Phillips screws. So we're going to take this off. Just to change my tools here a little bit, and there's just these 2 little Phillips head screws. 1. Now, this is what I'm doing, so just don't, some people, they don't like to do any modifications and they want to keep it as factory as they can, and that's fine. It's probably sometimes a good thing, but so this just pops out, and you have to take this out to take the 4 screws out to change the filter anyway. So this, it's gone. And what I'm going to replace it with is this. So a friend of mine measured this all up, and he's pretty good with the 3D printing. And what we're going to do is it fits right back in the exact same hole. And where do I have it? Right here. Now this is what we've just used to prototype, but this is just a filter cloth. And I'll show you when it's done, but it's going to get put in there and snap around that. So this is designed to fit right back in the exact same hole. So we're just going to put the 2 screws right back in. I mean, literally change your air filter and pop this on all at the same time. If anybody's interested in one of these, just send me a note. We We can probably arrange some way to figure out a price that it costs us to put them together and ship them, and if anyone wants one. So there's what we're left with. So now we're just gonna put this back in, and it's so tight in here, like it's, I mean, just, what's that? There's a little piece of rubber down there. Get that out of the way. There we go. There. Okay, so we'll put the 4 screws. Now, I don't have a little stubby screwdriver. I have one, but not here. So I'm just gonna put the 4 screws back in loosely. And last year in the summer I was riding and it was dusty. And by the time 3 days of riding was done, that poor air filter was so clogged with dirt that we were starting to, you know, wasn't running the best, plus all that dirt. And I started to want to figure out how to, silly thing. See if we can get that shoved in. There's a little bit of a keeper on these 2 bottom ones that make it. There we go. You just got to get it in. Okay. Clean this one up. This is the adapter, and it just fits right in the same spot. Now, the one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to relocate this piece, because that would normally sit. So this normally, you put a screw in there, and it goes right there like that. But as you can see, it's right in the way of the filter, and I don't want to do anything. So I'm gonna take this panel off. In fact, I'm gonna do that right now, and we're gonna just move that down to the side. So that is a number 5. Okay. So let's just back you up. Get that out of the way. This number 5. Move that. Pop this off. Okay, so what I'm just gonna do is I am gonna just lay this guy let's just lay this right back in here. And even down here is even better. There we go. Look at that. I'll just lay that right there. In fact, I'll get me a tie wrap and just secure it in place. There we go. Okay, so that is now right there, and it ain't going nowhere. Okay. Okay, so now we've got to put the ECU back in place. And it fits. I've got a bunch of wiring in here from when I did the fog lights and all that. I just gotta keep it out of the way. Okay, so the white and the black in the ECU. And there's back there the white and the black on the back of the connector block. So I gotta put that back together. So this is a little one of these things where I just don't quite understand why they did it, but they did. So you just gotta get, and you'll have to deal with this every time you want to change the bloody air filter. Okay, so just click in. That's the white one. Okay, nicely lined up. The black one, click in. Now, this fits down in here. There's a little piece of metal that the side of the ECU has a little rubber. I just can't really show it, but it has to slip over. Just there we go. Okay. So now that, and we'll just pop all these wires and miscellaneous crap. Alright. And there's our slot for our battery. And in goes the battery. Okay, so now you can see, let's just back this up a little bit. Now you can see battery's in, ECU is in, right? So we would connect our positive terminal, negative terminal, and here is my boot. Okay, so now all I have to do is take my sock. Oops. Take this sock and I just poke it in like this, and you don't have to be fancy because as soon as you start the bike, right, and there, it's on. And then because I took that goofy snorkel out, as soon as I'm on the road and this gets full of dirt, I just take this and clean it, throw it away, get a different one, whatever I choose to do. And I don't have to, you know, and then literally just take the seat off and it's there. So yeah, again, you just take that, slide it inside, hook it over the little lip. Oops. Hands are so dry that the cloth is sticking to my fingers. Like that. And there it is. So I'm not going to put this anymore together because as soon as the suspension shows up, we're going to do that. I guess I can put it together and we'll start it up. What the hell? Okay, so just fire up the bike here. You can see what happens. There. Yeah, so they the suction on the inlet is going to pull the filter in. All the dirt's going to go in. I've got all this room in here so to deal with stuff. Problem solved. So I won't know because it's December. And I won't be riding until probably maybe February if I go to Death Valley, but who knows. Anyway, that is Prefilter for the Honda. This is a 2022 CB500X. So if you think, maybe leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and yeah, we'll next set of videos will be rear suspension from HyperPro, and I have to deal with the single function fork, big piston front forks, and we're going to redo the suspension on the front too. Maybe we can not bottom out every time I hit a bump on this bike. So anyway, thanks for joining me. If you like the set of videos, like, subscribe would be awesome. Comments great too. And yeah, you can check out the videos we have on our channel, We Ride Motos. I've got what I'm doing on the CB500X, and we have some trips we've taken in Europe. So yeah, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you in the next one.